I still remember the sound of that paper tearing, louder than any thunderstorm I'd ever heard. It wasn't just a form, it was my dream, my ticket to the future, the very thing I had worked for years to achieve. When my brother, Ayan, ripped my college admission form right in front of me, I felt something inside me break. He looked straight into my eyes and smirked, "Girls only belong in the kitchen. Your place is behind these walls, not in a classroom." My parents didn't even stop him. In fact, my father nodded in agreement, and my mother turned her back, as if my ambitions were nothing but shameful desires. For a moment, I wanted to scream, to cry, to beg, but then something inside me shifted. If they thought they had crushed my spirit, they were terribly wrong. From childhood, I had been the silent one, the obedient daughter who cooked, cleaned, and studied in the dim light of my room when everyone else slept. My family thought of me as weak, someone who would never raise her voice. But deep down, I carried a fire no one had ever seen. That night, as I sat staring at the shredded pieces of my admission form, I decided this wasn't the end. This was the beginning. Every insult, every taunt became fuel. My brother, who spent his nights roaming with friends and wasting money, was treated like a king. I, on the other hand, was ordered to scrub floors and prepare meals. He had freedom, I had chains. But I had something far stronger, determination. While they thought I was broken, I secretly started rebuilding my dream. I borrowed books from neighbors, studied in the corner of our kitchen, and saved every coin I could by doing embroidery work late at night. No one noticed the sleepless nights, the pain in my fingers, the hunger I ignored just to save a few extra rupees. One afternoon, Ayan caught me reading a biology textbook. He snatched it away, laughing cruelly. "What will you do with this? Slice onions or boil rice? That's the only science you need." He threw the book into the fire where I was cooking bread. I stood frozen, watching the flames devour the pages. He thought I would cry. But instead, I smiled inside. Because by then, I had already memorized every chapter. Months passed. My hard work paid off when I found out about an online scholarship exam that didn't require my parents' approval. If I passed, I could get a fully funded seat in college. The only problem? I needed access to a computer and internet, things my family would never allow me to touch. So I began sneaking into the local library. Every evening, I told my parents I was going to buy groceries, but instead, I would rush to the library, hide behind dusty shelves, and practice on the old computers. My hands shook with fear every time I typed, afraid someone from the neighborhood would see me and tell my family. But fear couldn't stop me now. Finally, the day of the exam came. I remember my heart pounding so loudly I thought the librarian would hear it. My fingers trembled on the keyboard, but the moment I saw the questions, something inside me calmed. This was my battlefield, and knowledge was my weapon. For 3 hours, I fought with every ounce of strength I had. When I clicked submit, tears filled my eyes, not of fear, but of hope. Weeks later, a letter arrived in the mail. My parents didn't care enough to open it, they thought it was junk. But when I saw the official seal of the scholarship board, my hands nearly gave out. I rushed to my room, tore the envelope open, and read the words that changed everything. "Congratulations! You have been awarded a full scholarship for college." My knees buckled. I had done it. Against every insult, against every chain, I had done it. But the story didn't end there. You see, my family wasn't going to let me go easily. When I told them about the scholarship, my father roared in anger. "Over my dead body will you leave this house?" My mother slapped me, shouting that I had brought dishonor. And Ayan? He laughed in my face, "Even if you got a seat, you'll never step foot outside. Who will pay for your clothes? Your books? You're nothing without us." For a moment, I felt the old fear creeping in. But then I remembered all those nights of silent suffering. No more. I secretly reached out to the scholarship office. They not only provided tuition but also accommodation, meals, and even a small monthly allowance. I didn't need my family's money or permission. The next morning, while everyone slept, I packed my few belongings, some clothes, my diary, and the scholarship letter that had become my sword. As I stepped outside, Ayan caught me at the door. He blocked my way, smirking. "Where do you think you're going? Back to the kitchen?" This time, I looked him straight in the eyes, my voice steady. "No. To a place you'll never reach, with your arrogance, with your ignorance. Watch me rise." For the first time in his life, he didn't laugh. He just stood there, stunned, as I walked away. College wasn't easy. The world outside was harsh, and I had to fight every day. But compared to the prison I had left behind, it was freedom. I studied harder than ever, winning awards, making friends who believed in me, and proving myself in ways my family could never imagine. News of my success began to spread back home. My brother, the same one who tore my form, failed his exams and couldn't even secure a job. My parents, who once treated me like dirt, now had to listen to neighbors praise me as the pride of the community. Years later, when I stood on stage receiving a gold medal for academic excellence, I saw them in the audience, my parents, my brother. Their faces were pale, their eyes filled with regret. I didn't smile out of cruelty. I smiled because I had finally proven that girls don't belong just in kitchens, they belong wherever their dreams take them. And when I walked past Ayan after the ceremony, I whispered the very words he once said to me, "Girls belong in the kitchen, huh? Then tell me, brother, what does failure belong to?" He lowered his eyes. He had no answer. That day, I didn't just win a medal. I won my freedom. My revenge wasn't about hurting them. My revenge was my success, my voice, my rise from the ashes they tried to bury me in. And that, more than anything, was the sweetest revenge of all.